Yo, what's up guys, hope you guys are doing good. So today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the descendant of Sparda, part 5. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. And I do not own this fanfic, also make sure to check out the author of this fanfic, Hakureisaiga, and support him for writing this awesome fanfic, link is in the description. So let's get into the video. Lucifer had to put a little effort into fighting the Sound 4. He knew that the curse mark that they had was just as powerful as Sasuke's, making them a worthy adversary. Not to mention they seemed to have experience with it, but he knew that with that kind of power, especially from Orochimaru, had a devastating price, which means that they were desperate. Lucifer took out a spectral sword and held it out like he was a fencer, on guard, Mousier. Seiken, Jirobo, and Kidomaru surrounded Lucifer and charged at him. Tearing Kyaku. Lucifer avoided the kicks by jumping over it into Kidomaru as he shouted, Kumo Shibari. He spat out a web that traps Lucifer, but he smirked and replaced him with Jirobo at the last second. Lucifer said, "Oh, sorry, you got the wrong person, but thanks for playing, please accept this consolation prize." Lucifer appeared in front of Kidomaru and stabbed him with the rapier. "You're a damn nuisance, goodbye, Spider-Man." Penetration. Kidomaru was killed with a look of horror on his face as he tipped over with a huge hole in his gut. Lucifer said, "Damn, this kid was annoying as hell. Now I am stuck with a fatus and a two-head." Seiken shouted, "Yukin, wake up now, we are going to level 2. Lucifer said, "You gotta be kidding me, there is a level 2. He watched as Seiken and Yukin took on an ogre-like appearance, they had a single horn on the opposite side of their head. Lucifer said, "And I thought that you two were ugly before the two separated and red armor-like skin covered their right and left side." Lucifer jumped in the air and shouted, "Splash." Seiken and Yukin dodged the swords and then Lucifer shouted, "Discipline." The sword sprang toward Naruto and repositioned around him, making Yukin and Seiken retreat from Lucifer. Lucifer shouted, "Bondage." The swords instantly moved around Seiken and pierced him without remorse. Lucifer smirked as he snapped his fingers and Seiken was destroyed. Yukin shouted, "Seiken. You bastard. I will kill you." Lucifer simply said, "You first double penetration." Yukin stiffened as he struggled to find Lucifer. He found him behind him and realized that he couldn't feel his legs. He looked down to see two spectral swords in his thighs and then Lucifer snapped his fingers. Yukin watched as his legs were destroyed and he fell to the ground, bleeding to death. Lucifer walked slowly to Yukin and said, "You know, I could let you suffer, but I won't do that at all, so I will let you experience my new move orgasm." Lucifer took out a multitude of swords and flung them in the air. The swords hovered over Sun's body and, as Lucifer tipped his hands down, Yukin was destroyed since the swords detonated on impact. Lucifer turned to Jirobo, who was still stuck in Kidomaru's web, and walked toward him ominously. Jirobo said, "What are you?" "You are not human." Lucifer said, "Who knows? I am not even sure myself, but I will tell you. I am half human and half devil. I am Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze Sparda. Remember that, I will see you in hell." Lucifer took out a kunai and stabbed Jirobo in the throat, then he looked at Taiya's unconscious form and took her in his arms. "I better take her to my house and tie her up before she just tries to kill anybody." Lucifer donned on his devil trigger form and ran toward his house. Meanwhile in the forest, Shikamaru, Hinata, Haku and Lee were fighting against the 9 sound ninjas. Shikamaru dealt with one and led him away from the others to avoid hurting them. Haku was able to dispatch 2 of the sound ninjas using her Makyo Hyasho. The genin were separated into their own battles and Hinata defeated her 2 opponents. Sakura and Lee were still fighting, to their luck, the 4 were seasoned level shinobi. The 4 attacked Sakura and Lee and the bubblegum-haired girl shouted, "Kaiten. Hausenka no Jutsu." The small fireballs made the 4 scatter and one got too close to Lee, Konoha Shofu. The shinobi's neck snapped up and he fell dead due to the blow and the fact that it was Lee's enhanced leg. Sakura jumped away as a sound wave was aimed at her, then she shouted, "Kaiten. Haisakiho no Jutsu." She blew ash out of her mouth and then clicked her teeth as her 2 opponents charged into the attack, the ash exploded killing them instantly. "Lee, I am going ahead. Can you handle it here?" she called out. Lee said, "No problem, Sakura-chan." Sakura moved through the tree and the sound ninja said, "My name is Reppu. I am your executioner." Reppu moved at Lee with a kunai and Lee blocked it. He grabbed his hand and threw him over his shoulder. Reppu landed on his feet, pulled Lee down towards him, planted his foot into Lee's stomach and the green beast landed on the ground. Reppu got up and shouted, "Time to die." Lee's eyes widened as he shielded himself with his arm. Then a green light covered his arm, blinding Reppu and halting him from his attack. Lee looked at his arm after the light had subsided and he was shocked. His arm was covered by some metal alloy and his nails were sharpened to a point. He looked down and saw that his right leg reacted just the same. How is this possible? Wait, Kasumi-chan gave me this power. Lee thought to himself. He gripped his fist and thought, thank you, Kasumi-chan, now let's see what this youthful power can do. Lee charged at Reppu and jumped in the air. He used his right arm to punch Reppu in the face and Reppu was launched backwards. The Odo ninja crashed through trees until his back slammed into the tree with a huge crack. Lee said, what power, I will ask about it later. Sakura the Kunoichi moved through the trees and thought, I have to get to Naruto-kun and the others. I hope that they are. Suddenly a kunai shot at her head and Sakura moved quickly behind the branch to avoid it. When she got back up her eyes widened in surprise. Mom, Dad, what the hell are you doing? You almost killed me. She shouted in anger. Aiki said, that was the point, Sakura. Sakura said in shock, what? Sakari said, isn't it obvious, Sakura? You moved out with that idiot uncle of yours, Kazuma, just because your views on the demon. The girl's shock was quickly replaced with anger. Sakura said, he is not a demon, he's Naruto Sparda, so what if he has Kyuubi inside of him? Aiki said, how do you know about that? Sakura said, he told me about it all this time. I hit him, spit on him, and he took it all with a smile just to make you happy. You don't understand that he saved our lives just for taking this burden. Sakari said, bullshit, that demon will kill us all when you see his transformation. Sakura retorted, would a demon place himself in front of a sword to save his girlfriend? Would a demon save my life knowing that I was in danger? Would a demon know emotions such as love and kindness? The answer is no. Yet Naruto has done every single one of these things, and whenever I am around him, he makes me feel like I can do anything. I am someone. Everything about him is so real, his smile, his laugh, his touch. I have never felt this way towards Sasuke at all. I know that I have feelings for him. Aiki said, you have feelings for that demon. Sakura snapped, his name is Naruto. Sakari said, you are so annoying just like your sister. Sakura said, sister? Sakari said, that inner voice in your head is your sister. Unlike you, she was rebellious, and she was kind to the demon. No matter how much we erased her memory or beat her, she would always go back. Finally we had to take her soul and place it into your mind. We erased your memories of that and left it be, then your sister started imprinting her persona on you. We couldn't have that, and we placed a seal that inhibited her from influencing you and did the opposite of what she wanted. Sakura said, you killed my sister. Aiki said, for the greater good. Sakura said, fuck that for the greater good shit, and you have the right to call Naruto a demon. You have the nerve to call Naruto a demon. Sakari said, his heritage proves that he is a demon. Sakura said, he is not a demon, he is something that is far worse, he is a devil with a human heart. Now picture Naruto with the power of Kyuubi and his heritage coupled with the emotions and feelings of the human heart, a bad combination. If someone tries to hurt his friends, he will tear you apart. Sakura gripped her fist, now I will not forgive you for what you have done, you too will be brought to justice. Daiki said, after all we did for you. Sakura said, shut up, Daiki. Daiki was surprised at the utter hatred that Sakura showed through her voice, and Sakari shouted, how dare you talk to your faith. Sakari didn't have the time to finish, as Sakura launched herself and punched her mother dead in the mouth. Sakura said, as far as I am concerned, my family is dead to me. Daiki shouted, Sakari, you will die for that, Sakura. Sakura said venomously, come and try, bitch. Daiki took out a kunai and charged at his former daughter. Sakura ducked under his strike and sent a punch to Daiki's gut. Daiki stumbled back as Sakura kicked him square in the chest, sending into the tree trunk. Sakura moved fast to punch her former father in the stomach, which happened to be chakra-laced. Daiki coughed up blood as the hit connected and he was launched through it. Sakari came up behind Sakura, who ducked her swipe. Sakura noticed that the tree trunk was rotting and instinctively thought, poison figures since my mother is such a conniving bitch. Sakari said, you will pay for touching my beautiful face. Sakura snorted, HMPH, I don't see anything pretty about it at all. Sakari yelled out a battle cry and Sakura said, please, you can defeat me, Sakari. She knocked the poisoned kunai out of Sakari's hands and then she did a sweep kick, making her former mother fall to the wooden branch. Next, Sakura quickly followed with an axe kick to Sakari's solar plexus, effectively knocking her out unconscious. Sakura grabbed her former parent and looked to see that Daiki was still groaning in pain. Sakura tossed his wife on top of him, making him fall to the ground once again. You bitch. Daiki said. Sakura said, that is right, I am a bitch, the bitch who just kicked your ass. Sakura rapped him on the forehead, making him go into unconsciousness. She tied her parents up with ninja wire and made sure to clear their weapons and any means of them escaping. I can't believe that my inner self is actually my twin sister. I hope Naruto-kun is alright. Rooftop Orochimaru's breath was labored as he was surrounded by his old sensei, Dante, and Nero. Nero said, come on, you're tired already? We haven't even broken a sweat, but now it is time for you to die, showdown. Dante shouted, dance macabre. Orochimaru screamed in pain as he was slashed in pieces. Sarutobi added the finishing touch, Kaiten. Gikaku no Jutsu. Orochimaru screamed as he was burned beyond recognition, but then a shout was heard, Suiton. Miserapa. The water doused Orochimaru, and Kabuto rushed by his side. Orochimaru gritted his teeth, we must retreat. Dante said, like hell you are. Suddenly demons appeared before them, letting Orochimaru and Kabuto make their escape, and Dante gritted his teeth. Damn it, Dante pointed, I hope you all know what you just did pissed me off. You are all going to pay for this. Drive. Nero said, summon swords. Sarutobi took out the Kongoyu and swung in an arc as it extended, knocking the demons out of existence. Nero said, why did they come here? Were they trying to protect Orochimaru? Alistair, Kasumi and Virgil were hot on their trail on Danzo and the Elders' trail. Kasumi said, the 4 root ninjas are stopping, it looks like you will be taking the Elders and Danzo. Alistair said, good, those 3 have been a pain in Gigi's ass and made my life a living hell. The 3 stopped to face the 4 root ninja. One of them said, you will not pass. Kasumi said, Alistair, go and be careful. Alistair smirked, hey, I am always careful. Kasumi smiled, no, not really. Alistair moved to go past the root ninjas and one of them revealed black bugs from his skin, an aburum, huh. Kasumi shouted, Kitsune bye. The foxfire burned the bugs into ashes and Alistair was able to pass. Virgil said, what are your codenames, seeing that the man erased your life? Aburum said, Torin. The blonde said, Fuyamanaka. The pale one said, Sai. The last cloaked one said, Hayo. Kasumi whispered, Sarutobi mentioned that he planted a spy named Sai to try to keep him alive. Virgil said, got it. IQs. Thorin said, Fu, you, and I will take the woman. Sai, Hayo, take the white-haired man, don't underestimate them at all. Both Sai and Hayo nodded and the 4 attacked. Thorin started by throwing kunai at Kasumi, but she deflected them all using burial. Suddenly Fu came behind her and said, Shintenshin no Jutsu. Fu's mind was sent into Kasumi's, who was smirking at the time. Fu was shocked at Kasumi's mind, he looked down to see that he was standing on a river of blood. Then Kasumi came into the realm. You know, going into a demon's mind is very bad. You don't know what kind of repercussions you might have. Fu tried to quickly release but Kasumi cut off his hand with burial, instantly cauterizing the wound. Kasumi clicked her tongue as she admonished him. Now that is not nice, barging into my mind and then you just want to go and leave. No, please stay a while, I will make you as comfortable as I can. Fu felt something that he never felt before in his life. Complete utter terror. He screamed in pain as Kitsune made out of blood began to tear at his soul apart. Suddenly Kasumi's eyes brightened and she said, well, that was fun. Thorin said, what did you do to Fu? Kasumi said, let's just say he went into the darkest depths of my mind and he will never come out ever again. Thorin said, damn you. He took off his gloves and shirt to reveal that his skin was darkening a bit. He ran at Kasumi, who was intrigued about the technique. Thorin tapped her and she felt a stinging sensation through her body for a minute. She looked at her arm and saw that they attacked her cells. You are an aburum, aren't you? That explains the bugs, but to have poisonous bugs is a rare trait indeed. Thorin said, impossible, those bugs are fatal, you should be in pain or dead. Kasumi said, I am not human, I am a demon. You have heard of me quite well considering your master thought that Naruto-kun was me. Thorin whispered, why you're the Kyuubi no Kitsune. Kasumi said, and that is not all. I am also. She appeared behind him. She stabbed burial into Thorin's heart and Thorin gurgled a bit but then fell limp as the hell sword burned him from the inside out. Virgil put a hand on Yamato and, as Hayo moved in, Sai took a scroll and drew on it, Ninpu. Chaoju Giga. 5 lions came out of the scroll to meet Virgil, who raised an eyebrow at the technique. Virgil avoided a strike from Hayo and knocked him away using the sheath. Then Virgil cut down the lions to revert them back to it. Then he noticed that Hayo came back quickly to strike at him, but he smirked as he sheathed Yamato. Hayo shuddered for a moment and Virgil walked towards Sai as Hayo was separated into pieces. Say you are one of Sandame's undercover agents, yes? Sai gave him a fake smile, hi. Virgil said, very well, I will let you live. In the meantime, you will help us eradicate the sound ninjas that are lurking about. Sai said, hi. Kasumi said, well, that wasn't very fun. I guess I can settle for the sound. Meanwhile Alistair was moving in on Danzo and the elders and when he was close enough, he shouted, Danzo. The old man looked behind him to see Alistair's murderous eyes, knowing that he would have to fight to live. Alistair quickly moved toward the elders and electrocuted them to unconsciousness before turning to Danzo. What can I do for you, Nine Tails? Danzo asked. Alistair said, you can start by surrendering or willingly be impaled by my sword. Danzo said, I think not. He pulled off his right side to show a bolt mechanism on his arm. Alistair moves in to attack him, but Danzo blocks him with his kunai with his free hand. You will die, Nine Tails. I realize that I can't control you anymore. Sarutobi was a fool. You have power, and yet wasted. You took away my chance of controlling this village and turning it into an empire. Alistair said, there is no need for war, you would resist an entire nation just to be ruler over the 5 great countries. It is people like you who give demons a bad name, hell you are worse than them. Taking newborns and taking their emotions away, they never know what is right or wrong. Danzo said, you are such a nuisance, Sparda rest assured that I will kill you. He unsealed the rest of the bolt mechanism to reveal his right arm had been embedded with the Sharingan 10 to be precise. You bastard, you took the Uchiha's eyes when Itachi killed them, Alistair said. Danzo said, the opportunity was there and I took it. Alistair said, you are so dead, Danzo. Not for just ruining my life, but for playing on Itachi's pacifist ways to get him to kill the Uchiha clan. Danzo said, so you know. Naruto said, Jiji took the time to tell me everything about you, Danzo. Danzo said, such a waste of power, I could have made great use of you, Nine Tails. Alistair activated his devil trigger and charged at Danzo. Stinger. Alistair shouted as he stabbed Danzo, but then he disappeared. Alistair said, what? Danzo said, Fuetin. Shinkuha. Alistair was sliced only to reveal that it was a Kawarimi. Alistair appeared behind Danzo and shouted, Vortex. Again, Alistair tore Danzo to pieces, but then the bastard reappeared unscathed. How is it that he can avoid my attacks and appear without a scratch on him? Wait, one of the eyes just closed. Does the Sharingan have another power besides the Mangekyo? I thought that it can only cast an unbreakable and a black fire that can burn anything. Alistair thought. Danzo said, your guard is down, Nine Tails Fuetin. Shinku Rappa. Alistair dodged the attack, but one of the wind blades nicked his side, and then Danzo tried to slash with a wind kunai blade, but Alistair lifted up the broadsword to block his attack. Danzo used his Sharingan-infused arm to grab Alistair's neck, but then the half-devil had grabbed loose from his holster and shot Danzo. The man fell down, but Alistair found that he was unable to move. Damn, the bastard used a binding seal on me. I need to break it now. Danzo came up again and shouted, Fuetin. Shinkajoku. Alistair was able to break the seal through sheer force and jumped up in the air. He flew at Danzo and stabbed at his right shoulder, but to his surprise, he was blocked by wood. Alistair said, Mokutan 2. There is only one person who could have helped you with this, Danzo. You have been in contact with Orochimaru to get your arm with the Shadaime and the Sharingan. Danzo said, of course, I need it if I am going to control you. Nine Tails, I dare you to use your power, your real power. Alistair laughed, you don't get it, do you? I am not Kyuubi, I am not a woman with blood-red eyes and crimson hair. Danzo said, you mean that woman is Kyuubi? Alistair smirked, the one and only. Danzo said, well, I will kill you first, and then I will have to take out that white-haired man. Alistair laughed, oh, I am pretty much giving you a hard time, as it is. You are getting desperate, Danzo, time is running out. Alistair charged at Danzo and lopped off his head, but then Danzo did the technique again, and Alistair noticed that his fourth eye had closed as a minute passed. So every time I attacked him fatally, he used the Sharingan technique and disappeared. After he materialized, his eye closed in a minute. He has 6 left, no 7, I have to take it in consideration that his right eye is a Sharingan too. He thought as he attacked Danzo again and again. What is that move anyway? Alistair asked, you seem to be tired from using it, meaning that the technique you are using to avoid my attacks is heavily taxing your reserves. Danzo said, it is powerful that I can cast on myself, temporarily I can bend reality and illusion, thus avoiding death. Alistair shouted, Stinger. Danzo disappeared only to appear behind Alistair and tried to stab him, but Alistair used a Kawarimi and kicked at the side of Danzo's head. Alistair shouted, Thunder Drive. He hefted the demonic broadsword in a reverse grip and sent a light blue blast at Danzo. Danzo dodged it quickly as Alistair came up in the air, high time. Danzo was forced to use Izanagi yet again to avoid Alistair's strike. 3 to go. Danzo bit his thumb and shouted, Kuchius no, he summoned a taper or, as the legend called it, a Baku, which was a nightmare eater. The summon opened its mouth and began to suck everything in its mouth. Alistair threw his sword at its mouth and it pierced through the summon animal, causing the animal to return to its realm dead. Danzo expected Alistair to charge through the smoke, but found that he was nowhere to be found. Alistair appeared beside Danzo and punched him in the face. Danzo was caught off guard and was about to use Izanagi, but searing pain came through his right eye. It has appeared that Alistair threw a splinter through Danzo's right eye, making it useless to him. Take this. Million stab. Alistair shouted, but Danzo was ready and used Izanagi again. Damn it, I can't get away, every time I move he is on me in an instant. I can only use Izanagi one last time, and I barely have any chakra. The old fart thought. Alistair said, either way, Danzo, you lose, you can surrender, and die or just die. Danzo said, I will not die, Sparda. Sparda said, oh. It's Sparda, now huh? What happened to Nine Tails? Danzo said, you are not the Kyuubi, but you are still a demon. Alistair said, no, I am worse, I am a devil with a human heart. You should never mess with that combination or else. Alistair continued, you will die. He swung his fist, but Danzo avoided it only to look and see that he was not attacking him, but merely called Alistair back to him and it was headed for Danzo. Damn, Izanagi. Danzo thought. He disappeared only for Alistair to be at the place that he was going to and cut off his right arm. Danzo screamed in pain, ag, damn you, Sparda. Alistair said, shut the fuck up. He raised Umbra and shot him in the head, using less chakra to knock him out. Then he shot his kneecaps and elbow to render Danzo as a cripple. He reverted back to his original form just as Kasumi and Virgil appeared with Kaharu and Hamura tied up. Alistair said, good, our task is complete now, all that is left is for boss to take care of Shukaku. He dispelled himself turning into blood after relieving himself on Danzo's face. Naruto damn, I can't get a break today Naruto said as he avoided another swipe from Gaara's arm. Soon a shuriken. Gaara shouted. Naruto dodged each one of them and said, ole. Gaara shouted, shut up and die, Sparda. Gaara sent an arm out to Naruto, who in turn shouted, stinger. The arm of sand split in half as Naruto passed by the Jinchuriki. Gaara roared insanely, that is it, Uzumaki, you are strong, but my purpose will win. I love myself and only myself, I fight for myself. You fight for others who will betray you in the end. Naruto said, that is where you are wrong, Gaara. I have friends and lovers, people who acknowledge me even though they know that I hold the Kyuubi no Kitsune inside me. That is why I will fight to stop you from hurting others. Gaara shouted, Fuutin. Mugen Sajin to Toppa. The Suna Jinchuriki blew sand at him and Naruto moved behind a tree to avoid the stinging sand blast. Naruto smirked, take this. Million stab. Gaara felt force edge pierce through his body and Naruto finished as he said, breakdown. Gaara flew back and Naruto followed after him, oh no, you don't hide time. Gaara was launched into the air and then Naruto said, aerial rave. Gaara coughed up blood and Naruto descended on him and now Helm Breaker. Naruto sent force edge onto Gaara's head with the flat side. Gaara screamed as he fell, no I can't lose to you. Naruto watched as Gaara's sand increased and grew to enormous proportions. Wow, you are a big kid now, aren't ya? The Shukaku medium lifted its giant hand and said, Sabaku Sasu. Naruto's grin never left his face as he was completely covered and then Gaara said, Sabaku Kaiu. But the sand exploded to reveal Naruto in his DT form, he rose up and hovered in the air. Let's get down to business drive. Naruto sent a yellow streak at Shukaku, cutting its arm off. Suddenly Gaara's real body appeared at the top of Shukaku's head. Thank you for entertaining me so far, Sparda Naruto. Now I will show you the power of the Shukaku. Tanuki Nari no Jutsu. Naruto noticed that the eyes suddenly brightened and the Ichibi shouted, hahaha, I'm finally out of Yahoo and there is someone I wanna kill right off wait, you are a descendant of Sparda. Naruto answered, why yes, and now I will be the one to make you kick the bucket. Shukaku shouted, insolent devil, Fuutin. Rinkuden. Naruto said, quick drive. The slash crashed with a wind bullet and Naruto rushed forward to Shukaku's head quickly to perform million stab on the Biju. Shukaku roared in pain and tried to swipe at Naruto, but he moved away and then the Jinchuriki shouted, Helm Breaker. Shukaku's arm was cut off. Naruto shouted, this is the end. Take this, Dance Macabre. Shukaku roared in pain as the blows ran down on him. The Ichibi fell backwards, defeated, and Naruto said, you can't beat me, Shukaku surrendered now. Shukaku shouted, never. Naruto said, then take this. I haven't completely mastered it, but it is more than enough to defeat you overdrive. The two shockwaves crashed into Shukaku and Tanuki screamed in pain as he started to disappear, but Naruto grabbed his soul before anything could happen. The soul transformed into a large halberd and Naruto watched as Gaara fell to the earth, but caught him. Geez, I thought you were a nuisance before now let's get you out of their woods. Naruto fled towards the hospital, the invasion failed and very little of Konoha was destroyed. Amik Teia's punishment. Teia woke up to find herself tied up with ninja wire and shouted, what the fuck? Who the fuck did this shit to me? Naruto came out of the shadows. That would be me, Tei-chan. Teia said, don't you Tei-chan me, you motherfucker I swear I will fucking kill you, now release me, damn it. Naruto said, no. Teia said, why are you? She tried to activate her cursed seal, but she suddenly felt weak. What the fuck did you do to me, you monkey humper? Naruto said, such language if you must know, this is a room where chakra is constantly getting sucked out. How am I resisting? The seal absorbs the chakra that it doesn't recognize, meaning you are practically useless. Teia said, eat shit. Naruto said, you need to watch your language. Teia said, what the fuck are you going to do? Spank me. Naruto gave her an eerie smile, yes care to test me? Teia said, fuck you. Suddenly she found herself on Naruto's lap. "It's time for your spanking for Sparda, Tei-chan." He raised his hand and spanked her bottom hard. Inside the room, Teia's screams were heard from the room, and that day Teiya learned to never curse a lot, but she would curse in the house when they were alone, since she gradually started to like it. Amuk Orochimaru's painful ass rupture. The Anbu sprang into action by engaging the Sound 4. Sarutobi broke free of the Kazukiyage's grasp and threw his Hokage robes off to show his battle armor. "It has been a long time, Orochimaru." Orochimaru was surprised. "You knew?" Sarutobi said, "Of course, I knew. The Kazukiyage has never been interested in the Uchiha clan that much, nor acknowledges Gaara as his own son." Orochimaru looked on as Dante and Nero came in to join the Sandaime on the roof. "Look here, Dante, a gay pedophile," Nero said. Dante said, "I see, I always wanted a snakeskin wallet, Lucifer, you go help those Anbu. The old man and us will handle Orochige." Naruto looked to see that the Anbu were being hard-pressed by the Sound 4's teamwork and said, "Okay," but first Lucifer appeared behind Orochimaru with a huge pineapple. Orochimaru looked behind him, but it was too late. Lucifer immediately shoved the spiky pineapple right up his ass, which exploded and made the snake Sanin let loose a girly scream. Needless to say, Orochimaru will not be having Kabuto shove things up his ass anymore. Konoha was herself again in a few days' time due to the efforts of Naruto, Dante, Nero, and Virgil along with Kasumi. With Suna double-crossing their ally, their combined forces were able to cripple Oto to its knees. On another note, Naruto reported to Sarutobi that they kept Danzo alive along with his former teammates, Hamura and Kaharu, the others were executed on the spot. Sakura formally reported that her parents were also in the conspiracy as well, bringing their battered unconscious bodies to the old leader. The five were facing charges for first-degree murder, kidnapping, illegal use of a disbanded faction, conspiracy with the enemy, use of, contact with Orochimaru due to Danzo's arm, and eye filled with Sharingan, and the Shodaime cells. Sai, the lone surviving member of the decimated root, was rewarded for being able to monitor Danzo's movements to help convict the old bastard, as his duty to Konoha, and revenge for Danzo killing his adopted brother Shin when he showed emotion. Bankuro and Tamari were able to have their younger brother Gaara back from the clutches of his own demon. Due to a piece of Shukaku's soul reduced to a devil arm, Gaara was able to sleep and still had control over his absolute defense. Naruto felt that the halberd would not suit him here, especially since there was no sand. Funeral. It was raining, as if the sky was sympathizing with Konoha's loss. Naruto, dressed in his black funeral attire, walked to the ceremony along with Sakura, Sasuke, and Kasumi. Dante, Virgil, and Nero stayed at home. The half-devils were saddened by the loss, but didn't know enough about particular comrades that Naruto knew. As they reached the top of the tower, every ninja that had lost their lives had a picture with flowers on a table, and their families were moved to the front. The husbands and wives sobbed in silence along with their children clutching their pant legs. Naruto stood by Tenten and Kasumi on his right and left side respectively. Hinata was behind him to the left, while Sakura took her spot behind Naruto. Sarutobi stood beside the pictures and made a long speech in the honor of those who fought valiantly against the enemy. Meanwhile Kakashi stood in front of the memorial, as always, remembering Obito, Rin, and most of all, his surrogate father and brother, Minato Namikaze. Jiraiya came up behind him. "How long have you been here, Kakashi?" 2 hours. Kakashi said, "Actually I just got here, Naruto set me straight about moping around like that. It didn't suit me." Jiraiya said, "You're right, it doesn't suit you. Naruto does have a tendency to make people change regardless of how he goes about it. Come on, we better go or Sarutobi-sensei will get mad at the both of us." Kakashi nodded, "See you, Obito, Rin, Minato-sensei. I promise I will see you once in a while." Back at the funeral, Konohamaru asked Naruto, "Why do people sacrifice their lives for others?" Naruto looked at the boy and answered, "Because everyone in Konoha is connected, we all have a bond, we trust each other, and there are important people that others want to protect, families, parents, siblings, lovers, friends. We help each other and come in contact with those types of bonds by birth or chance, soon they grow stronger and stronger. People sacrifice their lives because they don't want to see those bonds destroyed or else order would collapse. Hokage Jiji-sen would sacrifice his own life to make sure everyone including you and I survive because he cares, that is why people exchange their lives for death." Konohamaru replied, "I think I understand what you are trying to say, Nai-san." Naruto smiled, "Good, now Kasumi-chan I am going to need you to hold me." Kasumi said, "Why?" Naruto said, "Using that and Devil Trigger plus fighting over a few hundred enemies is putting a lot of strain on my body. I am basically running on adrenaline, so I will be passing out right about now." Naruto fell unconscious for 2 weeks due to the fatigue of fighting and making the Chishio Bunshin. This gave the opportunity for Kasumi to watch over him and repeatedly replay what she was going to say to him once he woke up from his slumber. Tenten, Hinata, Anko, and even Sakura came over to the house to visit Kasumi and Naruto. Sakura admitted and confided in the girls that she was in love with Naruto as well. She explained that the fight with her parents made her realize her feelings toward her bleached blonde half-devil. Soon Naruto woke up and found out that Sarutobi had postponed the executions for him to see. The Jinchuriki moved downstairs and got dressed in his usual garb to meet Kasumi downstairs. "Hey there, Kasumi-chan, that was some power nap. Where is everyone at?" Kasumi answered, "Kin is with Anko to visit that girl that you saved from the foul-mouthed Redeed. Hinata, she is at her house, she has to do an errand with her father. Tenten is at the shop and Sakura is at home. Dante, Virgil and Nero are out demon hunting since you had to defeat Beowulf, a bunch of them have been popping up." Naruto said, alright, what is happening today? Kasumi smirked, "Our little old friends are getting executed, Sarutobi-san postponed it just for you." Naruto said, "Heh, sweet." Then he peered into Kasumi's eyes, "Kasumi-chan, what's wrong?" Kasumi blushed heavily, "Nothing." Naruto said, "Kasumi, I can see it in your eyes, you are practically dying to tell me something." "What is it?" The demoness let out a huge sigh and began, "Naruto-kun, when we first met, I thought you were a happy-go-lucky idiot before you had your bloodline awakened. When I recognized the scent of Sparda and mentioned that you were his descendant, I was hell-bent on killing you since you reminded me of my failed romance, and when I found out that Dante and Virgil's human mother married him, I just got pissed. You defeated me and had the potential to make me a devil arm, but yet you spared me, you respected my power. You saw me for me, and I saw a bit of Sparda in you. Soon I watched you grow in power and love came into your life. That date with Tenten, when you danced with her, I admit I was jealous of her a bit. Then came Hinata and after that, Anko. It took me a while along with Nero's meddling to make me see the truth." Naruto said, "Kasumi-chan, what are you saying?" Kasumi said, "I love you, Naruto-kun. I want to be with you." The Sparda said nothing, for like they said, actions speak louder than words. He took her in his arms. "That took a lot of courage for you to say, Kasumi-chan." The Kitsune woman said, "I'm a demon. In the realm of Makai, there is no such thing as romance or love. If you wanted to get someone, you had to fight for it and take it by force. I wanted to find someone that was stronger than me, but was honorable. I found Sparda." Naruto raised her face to meet her docile crimson eyes as he said, "Kasumi-chan, out of all of the girls here you know me the best since you have been sealed inside of me for 13 years. Therefore, like the rest of my girls, I will treat you with the utmost respect and I am kind of relieved that you told me this." The Jinchuriki leaned down and kissed her on the lips passionately. Kasumi returned it feverishly, pressing her body closer to his warm body. Naruto's hands rested firmly on her hips while Kasumi played with his bleached blonde locks, trapping her hands. Soon the two broke the kiss and Kasumi painted a bit, "Oh my, it was better than I imagined before." Naruto said, "Glad you think so. I had a lot of practice, but you already know that." Kasumi said, "True, so are we going to tell Sasuke the truth?" Naruto said, "Since the main conspirators are going to be executed, then it is best that we tell him, but we must be careful. Sasuke could resent Konoha and try to leave for Orochimaru to join him for his mutual goal, but if we find Itachi, he could be saved and we can give him the opportunity to kill the true murderers." Kasumi said, "If he does, I will kill him without remorse. His ancestor is the cause of all your troubles and Sasuke could potentially be a threat." Naruto said, "Despite that he is a bit arrogant, I don't think that he would be a threat. But enough of this, let's go." Kasumi nodded and the two proceeded to go out the door. Hokage's office, the two of them walked inside the room to meet Hiruzen Sarutobi and Naruto greeted the old man. "What's up, old man?" Sarutobi said, "Hello, Naruto, Kasumi, how have you two been?" Naruto said, "Fine, Oji-san, listen. I would like to know if you are going to tell Sasuke the truth and recall Itachi Uchiha." Sarutobi's smiling face grew serious and said, "I think I should do that. I have already messed up with secrets with you and now this. Since Itachi is still alive, there may be a chance that Sasuke will take it as a good thing." Kasumi said, "On the other hand, he might become loose and try to destroy Konoha." Sarutobi asked, "How do you know Sasuke, Kasumi-chan?" Naruto said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, Oji-san. Meet Kasumi, known as Kyuubi no Kitsune." Sarutobi instantly had a kunai in his hand and glared at Kasumi. "Why is she here and why did you help us?" Naruto said, "Take a chill pill, Oji-san. It was not her fault that she attacked the village." Sarutobi said, "How were you able to break out of the seal?" Naruto said, "She didn't, I freed her from her confinement, but the seal is still alive." He pointed at the choker and there was a necklace that resembles the symbol of Naruto's seal on his stomach. Sarutobi said, "But she could." Naruto said seriously, "No, Oji-san, the thing is that I can regulate her power easier if I wanted to. Most of her power is within me and she is as strong as Hirosenin." If I want her to, I don't have to keep doing it because I trust her and love her. Sarutobi said, but Asumi said, please, Hokage-sama, Naruto loves the people in this village, and I love him. The only way to hurt me is to hurt him, and that is the only way I will attack this village if someone stupid like the idiotic villagers attack him. I will promise to protect this village, as long as nobody betrays Naruto-kun or his associates. The old professor looked at Kasumi and then turned to Naruto for a bit. Fine, no one except people that you, Naruto, and I trust will know about this, understand? Naruto said, clear, Hokage Oji-san. Sarutobi said, well we are on that, do you want to explain to me how your ancestors are here in the flesh? Naruto said, their swords Rebellion, Yamato, and Red Queen are sentient blades forged and enhanced with demonic energy by mixing the blood into the molten metal. When I used the Chishio Bunshin, their spirits were able to manifest and return to their bodies permanently. And Kasumi? Asked the old Hokage. Her case is different, if she is killed she can return to the seal, but her body can last as long as she wishes. Naruto said. Sarutobi said, so we got the legendary devil hunter Dante Sparda and his brother, Virgil Sparda, once known as the Black Angel, including the services of Kasumi Uzumaki. Kasumi said, Uzumaki. Sarutobi said, if you are going to marry him someday, I might as well give you one of his names, since he has to rebuild the Sparda clan. Kasumi's eyes lit up with joy, and Sarutobi said, although you have killed countless people that I knew and loved, your eyes tell me differently that you were telling the truth about that. May I ask who was able to control you? Kasumi gritted her teeth as she spoke the accursed name, Uchiha Madara. Sarutobi's eyes widened in shock, what? That can't be, he would be at least over 100 years old. He was defeated at the Valley of the End. Kasumi said, he was defeated at the Valley of the End. The battle was so great and I was there helping him willingly at the time since he asked a favor from me, but for some reason, he was able to survive. He only had one Sharingan, but that was enough to control me since he had a stronger Sharingan. Sarutobi said, stronger Sharingan. Naruto said, we researched Itachi Uchiha and we had to infiltrate Sasuke's home to find his secret clan history. Just how Itachi feels about Sasuke, he would tell him about his strength. It is called the Mangekyo Sharingan. Sarutobi said, Mangekyo Sharingan. Kasumi said, the second level of the cursed bloodline of the Uchiha clan. To achieve it, you must kill your closest friend. Sarutobi said, so Itachi did kill Shisui Uchiha, and it was perfect considering she was loyal to the Uchiha clan also. Kasumi said, there are 3 known techniques that the Sharingan can use. The first one is Tsukiyomi, that can't be broken, but I believe that someone with Sharingan or Uchiha blood can overcome this. The second is Amaterasu, a black fire that can burn anything known to man, and not even the strongest Suiton can douse the flames. Naruto said, Izanagi Danzo used this technique against me when I fought. It allows a person to alter reality for a moment. It was a bitch fighting it because you can even escape death's embrace, but for every 60 seconds, the eye closes forever and grows dark. Sarutobi said, you mean that once you use Izanagi, the eye becomes blind and useless. Kasumi said, correct, the same thing happens with Amaterasu and Tsukiyomi since Itachi has used it multiple times, which means you can grow blind gradually. Sarutobi said, so then how is Madara able to use Tsukiyomi on you? Naruto said, according to the Uchiha history on the wall, Madara had a brother named Izuna Uchiha. The two were both the strongest and killed their closest friend to get the Mangekyo Sharingan. Soon Madara was blind from using the Mangekyo Sharingan and he took his brother's eyes to replace his own eyes, giving him the 3rd level of the Sharingan, the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Kasumi said, but since he is the only one with this level, there is little known about it. The only one that we know is that if you should get the level, you will become immortal and it must be your sibling to get it from. Sarutobi said, so that is why Itachi kept Sasuke alive to get the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, but the history of Madara Uchiha was lost to the Uchiha clan, except that he died fighting my mentor Hashirama Senju, the Shodai Hokage. Naruto said, I don't think so, there is the possibility that he might have encountered Madara Uchiha, and to gain his trust, he convinced that his plan was to take Sasuke's eyes when he was stronger. Sarutobi said, that is true too, therefore we still have to treat Itachi as an enemy for the moment. Now Karasu and Anbu with a crow mask appeared beside the Hokage's desk. Hi, Hokage-sama. Sarutobi said, bring Sasuke Uchiha to me please. The Anbu nodded and discreetly used a shunshin to get Sasuke, and the Hokage turned to Naruto. Since you missed the ceremony, I will enlighten you. Naruto said, for what? Hiruzen smirked, Naruto Sparda, by the order of the Hokage and the esteemed Shinobi Council, I hereby instated you as a Chunin for your performance at the Chunin exams and for notifying us about the invasion by Odo, also for subduing Gaara of the desert. Naruto said, are you serious? Sarutobi said, like a heart attack. Naruto replied, old man, you know that you are too old to be saying that, don't scare me. Sarutobi chuckled, I am joking, Naruto, but yes, you are now a Chunin, which means you will be leading teams into battle, plus you had practice using those skills to help us win the invasion against Orochimaru and his Odo ninja forces. Naruto said, I can't take all of the credit, Gaara was weaker than I was because of his previous fight with Sasuke twice. Sarutobi said, that may be, but Sasuke-sen is too volatile to be a Chunin right now, and it is not a good time to tell him that you are a Chunin, or else he will get jealous of you. Suddenly Karasu came inside of the room along with Sasuke Uchiha. Dope, what are you doing here? Uchiha asked, who is this woman here? Naruto said, this is Kasumi, one of my concubines since I fall under the Clan Restoration Act just like you, and the reason I am here is the same reason you are here. Sarutobi said, Karasu, thank you. Can you please step out of the room for a moment? The Anbu complied and shut the door as Sarutobi did a hand sign. The walls, door and windows flashed a light blue for a moment and Sarutobi explained, sound silencing seal, your father made this when he was married to your mother, Naruto. Naruto replied, and I have a typical feeling on what it was originally for too. Sarutobi chuckled a bit before turning to Sasuke. Sasuke, I wanted to notify you of something for a very long time. Sasuke said, what is it? Sarutobi said, the truth behind the massacre of your clan. Sasuke said, what? I already know the truth, my brother Itachi killed the clan to prove his strength with his Mangekyo Sharingan. The Hokage said, that is correct, your brother did kill the clan, but not on his own whim, he was ordered to do so. Sasuke said, what? You ordered to kill my family, my clan. Sarutobi said, no, I didn't, my former teammates Hamura and Kaharu along with Danzo, a rival of mine back in my younger days, managed to grab my seal and gave the order to your brother. Danzo knew that your brother was traumatized by the Third Great Shinobi War and became a pacifist. He loves Konoha more than he loved the clan. When the Kyuubi no Kitsune attacked the village, people became suspicious about the Uchiha clan. Sasuke said angrily, why us? We were loyal to the village, is that why you secluded us from the village? Sarutobi said, to keep both sides happy, yes. You were given your privacy and people's suspicions died down a bit. Soon the rumors of your clan attempting a coup d'etat came to our eyes. I tried to compromise with your family while the advisors used Itachi's pacifistic nature to spy on your clan. Sasuke said, so the advisors were the ones who ordered my family to be killed. Why wasn't I told about this? Sarutobi said, for two reasons, Sasuke-san. The first was that you were too young to understand. You were already power hungry at the age of 7, plus you are stubborn, as your father. Therefore at any time, you would have refused to believe. The second was that Itachi made me promise not to tell you and to look after you in his place. The old Hokage sighed a bit and continued, if I had not, Danzo would have made a move on you, making you into an emotionless shinobi, and Itachi threatened him literally to kill him, or he would use the truth behind the Uchiha massacre to discredit Konoha. Sasuke said, so my brother didn't kill the clan on his own whim, but why did he save me? Naruto said, that is the thing, Sasuke, your brother loved you too much. He could bear killing your aunts and uncles, even your father and mother, but he couldn't bear to kill you. You were supposed to be eliminated along with your clan, but his heart was too soft when it came to you. Sasuke said, how do you know this? Naruto said, like Itachi, Danzo was a threat to my family as well. He has tried so hard to discover the secret behind my father's legend, the Hiraishin. Sasuke said, but Itachi's eyes were cold. The Hokage said, Sasuke, your brother was the best in Anbu. He was able to hide his emotions so well that nobody knew the true side of him. You were the only one that could show his true side. Now that Danzo and my former teammates are branded as traitors, making me able to execute them, Itachi will be able to come back. Naruto said, but there is another thing. Sasuke said, what? Naruto said, there is a possibility that you will still have to kill him, Sasuke. Sasuke said, but Itachi is innocent. The Jinchuriki replied, that may be true, and everyone would accept it because of the power the Uchiha possess, but your brother has so much blood on his hands that he can't bear the guilt of killing his own clan to save peace. You were chosen to be the scapegoat from his pain, killing him will mean that you will become a hero of Konoha like my father said in his letter, you are his living legacy. Sasuke was silent for a moment, everything that he thought was destroyed. His brother that he swore to kill was still the compassionate older brother that he knew from his childhood. The man that killed his clan was not particularly responsible for his loneliness, and people on Konoha's own council were the ones who killed Itachi and the clan. Naruto's voice woke Sasuke from his thoughts, so what say you, Sasuke Uchiha? Sasuke said, everything that I believed was a lie. My brother was a martyr, my family was destroyed, and I have not gotten any stronger at all. Naruto said, yes, you have, Sasuke, you were the first one who wounded the untouchable Gaara. The Uchiha said, that is not a big thing, I didn't defeat Haku, you did. I was afraid to face Orochimaru when he disguised himself as a Kusa Genin, but yet you were able to fight him with your strength. You defeated Niji, and I was never able to finish my match against him. Though I wouldn't admit it in the open, I couldn't defeat Gaara in my state either. Naruto said, that was back then because you relied on your own strength. Your strength is high, Sasuke, but the strength in numbers is better. I drew strength on the bonds I hold from my lovers, my friends, my teachers, and my comrades. You had no choice but to believe that you had to carry the burden of the Uchiha clan's honor to kill Itachi and relied on yourself just like Gaara. Hate doesn't make you strong, Sasuke, it is love that makes you strong. If your clan was still alive and Orochimaru was trying to get a child, you, including the clan, would defend him at all costs. Sasuke said, love. Naruto said, despite that you were a jerk back at the academy, everyone respected you for your power. I chose you as my rival back at the academy because you were everything that I wanted to be. Cool and talented, a true prodigy. Love and friendship make people do anything to save someone precious to them, just like you did when Haku was aiming for me. Sasuke said, I have a lot to think about, Hokage-sama Naruto. But I want one thing. I want to execute the three of them. The Hokage said, retribution was inevitable, you will get it, Sasuke, an eye for an eye. Later that day, the whole village was gathered in the village courtyard where various criminals have been executed. Today, Danzo Shimura along with Hiruzen Sarutobi's teammates, Kaharu Utatane and Homura Midokado, were going to be executed, including Daiki and Sakari Haruno. The Hokage stood a few feet near Danzo, knowing that he was a crafty son of a bitch. Konoha, today is a day of retribution, a day of justice, for you have all been notified of the action of the traitors, Danzo Shimura, Kaharu Utatane, Homura Midokado, Daiki Haruno, and Sakari Haruno. The rest of the council, mainly from the disbanded civilian side, were in on it until they were killed in the war, under the act of the first Hokage's law, as we were in a time of crisis. The villagers murmured under their breath, some of them were still in shock that the advisors were traitors, and the civilian council were left to be buried in marked graves, but branded as traitors as well. The old Hokage said, from now on, we will have two people to advise the Hokage to replace them. He looked at Kaharu Utatane, you have been found guilty of treason, breaking the Sandame's law, and conspiracy. Because of this, you have been sentenced to death. Do you have any last words that you wish to say? The old woman looked at her old teammate with contempt. You are an idiot, Sarutobi. That so-called boy is dangerous, and soon you will be killed along with the rest of this village without us. That is all I have to say to you. Sarutobi ignored her rant and moved on to Homura Midokado, you have been found guilty of treason, breaking the Sandame's law, and conspiracy. Because of this, you have been sentenced to death. Do you have any last words to say? Homura looked up, I have nothing to say, but this Konoha will fall without our advice. You are too soft, Hiruzen, and that is your weakness. Hiruzen nodded, thank you, Homura. He moved on to Daiki and Sakari Haruno, Sakari Hinara Haruno, you both have been convicted of first-degree murder, unapproved sealing, treason, and conspiracy. Do you both have any last words? Daiki said, yes, tell that demon whore that used to be my daughter that I disowned her from the Haruno line. Sakura, who was in the crowd, was shocked at her father's choice of words. She was disowned from the Haruno family, meaning that she could not carry the Haruno name. Sakari searched for her former daughter's face to see the panic in her eyes. She never found them. Sakari found Sakura with a smile on her face, and the worst thing about it is that Naruto was next to her with a smile on his face, as well. Sakari shouted from her restraint, you demon whore, that is what you are, not my fucking daughter. I should have put a loyalty seal on your body to make you fuck the Uchiha instead. Sakura shouted back proudly, I preferred being a demon whore than to betray my friends and family for power. Sakari would rave at her until Sarutobi placed a sound silencing seal on her back, making her screeching voice quiet, saving the Inuyasha clan's wars and his own. Then he moved on to Danzo Shimura, you have been accused of conspiracy, kidnapping, first-degree murder, interference of village affairs, allying yourself with S-rank criminal Orochimaru, illegal use of a disbanded faction, illegal use of, and attempted assassination. Do you have any last words? Danzo looked at Sarutobi and the crowd, so it has come to this, Sarutobi. I never did become Hokage at all, it was my dream to become the leader of this village. But now I am discredited, you have won Hiruzen Sarutobi. You are truly the professor, but peace will not help you win your battles. Sarutobi said, Danzo, you were a good rival to me, we both had different views on running Konoha. War and absolute dictatorship will not win battles, but spread death. Peace can't stop battles either, but it will give us time to have a composure together and live together in harmony. Danzo chuckled, you are a fool, Sarutobi. One of these days you are going to die without a successor. Sarutobi laughed and said, you are right, I was close to death until a couple of friends saved me from the Shinigami. I have chosen a successor already, one of my own students. Danzo said, that buffoon, Jiraiya. Sarutobi replied, no, Tsunade of the Sannin. Danzo said, "You are bluffing, Tsunade will not set foot in this village," she swore on the graves of her brother and lover. The old Hokage said, "That is why we are going to go get her, knowing your friend and my student will seek her out to heal his arms. Now you will be executed. Now this is goodbye, Danzo." There is in Sarutobi said, "Meet your executioners, Naruto, Sparda, and Sasuke Uchiha." Danzo's eyes widened as he thought. He told him, "Damn it." The elders looked at Sasuke's face, which was a bit calm, but his eyes were furious, and his Sharingan was flashing briefly on and off. "I hereby execute Danzo Shimura, Kaharu Utatane, Hamura Midokado, Daiki Haruno, and Sakari Haruno. Let them be an example to people who betray their friends and family." Sasuke immediately threw a kunai, ending the lives of Danzo, Hamura, and Kaharu, while Naruto swiftly ended Sakura's parents' lives. The villagers along with Sakura winced at how the elders and her parents lumped over themselves. Sarutobi said, "Anbu, take them away from here and bury them in unmarked graves." Everyone's eyes widened in shock. Ninjas always wanted to be remembered for generations. When an unmarked grave for the elders and Danzo along with the parents of Sakura Haruno meant nobody would remember their name over time. Then the Hokage said, "Now, as the power is invested in me, I would like to inform you that I will step down from my position as Hokage." The crowd murmured and became restless about the Hokage's decision. "I know the Konoha still needs a leader. I will be one of the advisors on the council along with Shikaku Nara and Inoichi Yamanaka. In the meantime, my old student Jiraiya will be the one to retrieve our new Hokage. Our Hokage will not be revealed until further notice." Later, after the villagers dispersed from the premises, Sasuke went home for a while. He felt a bit relieved that he got his clan's true killers, and at the same time, he just made 3 kills at once. Naruto, on the other hand, had no qualms against killing since he was used to it by exterminating demons. Sakura turned to see Naruto in the crowd and she strode towards her teammate. Naruto-kun. The Jinchuriki turned to see Sakura approach him and said, "Hey, Sakura-chan, are you okay with you no?" Sakura said, "I am fine, Naruto-kun. They stopped being my parents the minute they decided to kill my sister and seal her soul within me." Naruto said, "What?" Sakura said, "When we got separated to fight those Odo ninjas, I defeated them and told Lee that I was going ahead. Then my parents alerted their presence by aiming a kunai at me and told me that they were here to convince me that you were the Kyuubi. I told them off and my so-called mother told me that they killed my sister because she was kind to you, then erased the memories from me. They also put an inhibitor to make her influence nothing to me when she started to imprint her own personality on my brain." Naruto said, "So I wasn't crazy when I saw 2 of you." Sakura said, "So you saw her once?" Naruto said, "Yes, that is why I liked you in the academy, but I didn't know which was which. The next day, you were the only one that had the same description as her, so I started to chase you." The former Haruno said, "So that is why I am so stupid." Slap. Sakura turned her head in shock to face Naruto with his hand outstretched. Naruto said, "Sakura, this was not your fault. It was your parents' fault that you had a seal on you, trapping your sister inside your mind. It was your parents' fault for putting a loyalty seal to the Uchiha on you. I wonder how you broke it." Sakura said, "Maybe it was when Ino entered my body in the Chunin exams. Using my sister's persona to break Ino's connection could have destroyed the seal." Naruto said, "That is a likely possibility that could be the explanation. I will ask Iro-sennin to remove the inhibitor seal once we get back from the trip." Sakura said, "Wait, you are going to find the new Hokage with Jiraiya-sama?" The Jinchuriki replied, "Yeah, I am Iro-sennin. I am apparently going to train myself over the trip, so I will be leaving for a while." Sakura protested, "But you can't." Naruto was surprised at her outburst and asked, "Why not, Sakura-chan?" Sakura whispered with a rosy blush on her face, because. Naruto smiled and lifted her chin, "Because you love me too, right?" The former Haruno said, "They told you?" Naruto replied, "Told me what?" Sakura said, "That I realized that I love you." Naruto said, "Nobody told me about that, Sakura. It is just that Kasumi admitted the same thing this morning and she was just as nervous as you were to tell me this. I can't say that I love you, but I will learn to do so." Sakura said, "Arigato, Naruto-kun, be careful. I just confessed my feelings and I don't want you to die." Naruto said with a grin, "Don't worry, I will be fine. I have to become Hokage first, right?" Sakura smiled at him and gave him a kiss on the cheek. "I will be waiting." Naruto said, "Right, but before I go, that was not a kiss." He grabbed her and pulled her close, "But this is." He kissed her fully on the mouth and Sakura was surprised at the gentle kiss Naruto gave her. She leaned into the kiss as he wrapped his arms around her man. Then the Sparda pulled her away, making the bubblegum-haired gum whimper at the lack of affection. "Sorry, but that is for you to wait on for when I get back. I will be back here, I promise." Sakura nodded and Naruto left with his guitar holding Burial and Alistair inside. "Ready to go?" Jiraiya asked. Naruto replied, "I'm ready, Iro-sennin." Jiraiya protested. I thought I told you not to call me that, Naruto said. That is after the fact I read that you peeped on my mother once. Jiraiya whined, but that was only one time. Naruto said, and you still do it, why not go with Tsunade? Jiraiya said, what do you mean? Naruto replied, from what I see, you are just like me. We were both idiots chasing girls that we wanted, but they wanted the genius or rookie of the year. Your team was Orochimaru, you, and Tsunade. Orochimaru was the genius, and you were the dope. Therefore your team was just like mine, right? Jiraiya said, you are quite perceptive. Naruto said, from Kakashi's description of our team, he was Sasuke, I was Obito, and Sakura-chan was Rin. Same concept with your team. I am you, Sakura is Tsunade, and Sasuke is Orochimaru. I would not be surprised if Sasuke defected to him to gain power since I am receiving training, but who would receive training for Tsunade? Jiraiya said, we better go, she tends to move from place to place. Naruto said, so according to Oji-san, she is a combat medic with super strength, also the granddaughter of the Shodaime, and grandniece of the Nidaime. She was known as the legendary sucker because of her seemingly bad luck, former teammates with Orochimaru and Jiraiya. Survived a fight against Salamander Hanzo, gaining the title of Sannin. She left the village because of the death of her brother, Nawaki Senju, and her lover Dan. Jiraiya added, and she had the biggest pair of tits you would ever see. Naruto said, I am going to ignore that, and this is why you always got your ass kicked by her with your lewd comments, Iro Sennin. Jiraiya snorted, anyway we have to hurry, Orochimaru lost his arms by your friends, and Tsunade is the only person who can purge demonic chakra from his arms to regain his. Naruto gritted his teeth in anger, I am going to kill him. Jiraiya said, not if I reached him first, Naruto. I am kinda pissed at him too, you know. Naruto said, true, you are his teammate and friend, and I am the boyfriend of the girl he betrayed, and somewhat of a friend of his chosen vessel. Jiraiya said, we will get him together. Come on, we are wasting time. The two moved toward the next town, but little did they know that two people in cloaks with a high cowl covering the bottom part of their face. The hats covered their eyes, and the cloaks were black with red clouds. Thanks for watching my video, leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. And make sure to check out the author of this fanfic, link is in the description, see you next time, till then sayonara.